Hey, welcome everyone. This is Henson. We're from FeedbackWiz, and today our guest is John Lee, and he's from PickFU. John is the co-founder of PickFU, and PickFU is a SaaS platform where they can help A/B test, multiple things like templates, pictures, a lot of things where you need an audience to figure out, like let's say feedback for email templates or feedback for your ads. It's something that you can get results within a few minutes to an hour, right? So yeah, thanks, John, for stepping in today.
Yeah, totally, Henson. It's my pleasure. Glad to be able to visit the FeedbackWiz offices and hang out in person.
Yeah, and it's great how you're also in the San Jose Bay Area.
Right.
And we met last year or this year, right? We met this year at the Prosper Show.
That's right, in Vegas.
Right? So yeah, it's really great to connect with you and understand how your platform works. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring you in was I really like what you guys built, and I think there's a lot of value for Amazon sellers where they can test things like listings or their email templates and whatnot. There's just so much potential because you have a live audience, and it's not something they have to let's say test in the real battlefield, right? They can get results right away, and then they can tweak it before they even set it live.
Right. So that's one of the best use cases of PickFU is that we do have a panel of about 10,000 online customers that you can target by demographics and so on. And so one of the best use cases for people who are selling on Amazon is to test their creatives, whether it's listing images, product titles, email templates, all of that stuff before pushing it live. So they kind of get a better sense of what's actually going to work out in the market.
That's awesome. Yeah, so we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll show you guys how how FeedbackWiz we can build some of these really simple templates, and then how we can import these templates to PickFU and get some results right away. But before we get there, I kind of wanted to just get to know a little bit more about you and how you got started into this business and what you're doing before you got into PickFU.
Into PickFU, sure. So the story of PickFU is it's been around for a number of years. Actually, it started off as a side project because my co-founder and I were building a different online startup, completely not related to feedback or online SaaS or anything like that. But during that process, we found ourselves being a small team of two, always having debates about, oh, what color to use here, what design to use here, things that were more subjective and not so much, this is the absolute right thing, but it's more, hey, I think this would look better in the market. I think people will respond to this other variation. And we would always clash on these debates. And since it was just the two of us, we needed a tiebreaker, basically. So what did two guys who code do when they need a tiebreaker? They build their own feedback service, right? So it was a side project that we had for years where we had connected it to an online audience, and we would use it to solve our own problems of getting feedback and so on. And over time, more and more people started using it. And eventually we're like, hey, I think there's a real business here. And then we really started focusing on PickFU instead of our other project.
That's great. So, so how do you, so one of the questions I had is that when we test like, pictures or templates or listings, there's actually a live audience that comes in and tests it, right?
Right.
And like, what kind of like users are these kind of people? Like what kind of demographics and, who can I actually get to test?
So we source our panel from a bunch of different online sources. There are online panels out available, and we basically built this layer on top of them to present our own polls to these online panels. As we do that, we collect demographic information from them every time they do a poll. So we learn a little bit more about our audience for every time that they fill out a poll or do a survey on our platform. Currently, we cover all the basic demographics, so gender, age, income, ethnicity, all of that stuff. And then we let you, on top of that, we've layered on other more interesting targeting like Amazon Prime membership. Do you take nutritional supplements? Do you cook a lot? How often do you exercise? Are you a smoker? Do you own property? Do you live in an urban or suburban area? I mean, so basically our targeting runs the gamut of almost anything that our customers would want to target in our platform.
That's awesome. And how big is your audience size, like approximately?
About 10,000 people.
10,000 people. Wow. That's great. And how do you find these people? Like, how do they just like come in? Like, do you have guys have like a separate website where they can apply to?
So honestly, we've our supply of people has actually been pretty well maintained by those other online panel companies. There are people who come directly to us and say, a lot of customers will say, hey, you know, I want to answer polls, and like I want to be, instead of just running polls, I want to answer them too. And a lot of times, right now we're just saying that there's a wait list, basically, if you want to sign up for it. At some point, we may open it up and start taking more, but at this point, we're pretty full.
That's awesome. And let's say like I started running a poll today, like right now, and I want to say, hey, I want to see, you know, what kind of results I can get and comments. Like typically, how long does it take for results to come in?
So it depends on the type of targeting you're doing, but generally, let's say you're targeting Amazon Prime members who are female. You do a 50 response poll, it might take you half an hour.
Half an hour. Okay, yeah. Well, that's really fast. I can get results right away, pretty much.
Right, exactly. That's kind of one of the main benefits of PickFU is that the people answer really quickly because we pay them, like where they're incentivized, exactly. And so they'll answer really quickly, and you get that really fast feedback without having to wait for, let's say, you put out variations in the market. You might take days or weeks or something to get that data.
Gotcha. And as an Amazon seller, like what are some of the things I can actually test through PickFU?
So the thing that we're most known for is testing your main listing images, your main product images, because as everyone knows, Amazon's a very visual medium. So people who have a better product image, you're going to have better click-through rates. Once people click through onto your listings, you're going to have better conversion rates. And we've definitely seen this over and over with a lot of our customers. But besides just choosing your main image, you can also test your titles, your prices, your bullet points, your descriptions. You can do open-ended tests against your competition to see what potential buyers like about your competition's listing instead of your listing. So basically the possibilities are endless.
Well, that's really cool. So if I were to test my listing, like what's the process of me doing it? Do I have to just send you the Amazon URL link, or do I have to like upload data points like the picture or upload the title and the price?
It depends on what you want the survey takers to see. So if you're really focused just on your main image, you would take, let's say, two options of your main image, option A and option B, and you would upload those to PickFU and create a poll. Usually creating a poll takes less than a minute to set up and just get running. If you wanted feedback on a listing, you could take just the URL of your listing and post it as in our poll form, and our respondents would go take a look at your listing and give feedback on that.
That's great. Now, besides Amazon sellers, like what other types of businesses could benefit from using PickFU polls?
Basically, any business who could benefit from fast market research. Right. So we have a lot of people who are, let's say, authors who want to pick their book title or book cover before they publish, because that's a very important decision that you can't really take back once you go out into the marketplace. We have a lot of small business owners who are testing their logos. So whether it's Amazon sellers or people who actually open bricks and mortar stores who are testing their logos for their shops and their businesses. We have mobile game developers who are testing their logos, their app art, any conceptual stuff. And then we have a lot of big brands as well who are testing things like email templates, like messaging, like mobile app designs and all that stuff too.
That's really cool. And I've probably never seen a service like yours before. Like, do you guys actually have any competitors? And if you guys do, like, how would you say like your service is different?
We're a little weird because I think we didn't build this service by looking at the market and saying we want to be like those guys or these guys. We built the service to serve our own needs, which is quick and efficient market feedback for fast decision making. So if you kind of squint, then we could have competitors in all different directions. Like, we've been compared to SurveyMonkey or Qualtrics, but we're not quite a survey company. We've been compared to Splitly on the Amazon side, but or Optimizely, but we're not a plug-in A/B testing service. But you can do all of that with PickFU, right? So kind of in a weird space in the market, but we're happy with it.
Yeah, very unique. Do you guys have any plans on, let's say, adding more features or trying to do not just the survey part, but maybe even take the next step and help them do the optimization, because now you guys have all the feedback from the
Right,
customers, right?
right. So it has been interesting to see, hundreds or thousands of polls about Amazon listings, and you realize that you get a sense of some decent best practices for main images and stuff. At this point, I don't think we're in the business of doing Amazon listing optimization or anything. I think if anything, we would want to scale the platform itself to make it more usable in different ways for both Amazon sellers and other businesses. So probably more about expanding the product line for different types of polls or specific use cases like market research related use cases, such as like pricing studies, right? If you're launching a new product on Amazon, you don't know what to price it. At least the thing with Amazon is that you can look at competitors and see, but if it's something that doesn't have a lot of competition out there, there are ways that you can do pricing surveys or classical market research, things like that. And we're thinking about basically expanding our tool set to let anyone sort of have more approachable market research.
So like marketing emails for, let's say, businesses, like send out, maybe not through Amazon, but from, just like, how sometimes you go on LinkedIn, someone adds you, and then they send you like a whole array of emails.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, totally. We have people who are testing those templates on right now. Yeah,
oh, that's great. Yeah, that's awesome. That's really wonderful. So I guess the main advantage really is that now you get a whole pool of audience that can give you, unlimited feedback rather than going to a listing optimization company and being able to adjust your, let's say your templates or your images based on all these people's feedback and comments, right?
Yeah. So one of the main benefits is just that you can do it faster.
Do it much
faster. Like, and you don't have to risk the testing it out in the market and testing out something that might not work well in the market. You have a better idea of what's going to work out there before you put it out there.
Oh, that's great. So that we just talked about your services, and I kind of wanted to ask you a little bit more about like your company itself, because we're both in the same space, and SaaS over here, and we both go to a lot of conferences, and we have the same Amazon seller audience that we're looking for. What would you say, like, what are some of the things that you're trying to do to build PickFU up to get more customers? Like,
basically presence. I think we are just ramping up our marketing for in the e-commerce space. We're trying to go to more conferences, build up our library of more use cases and success stories and so on. I think PickFU, it's a useful tool, but you need to know how to use it, and that's customer education is a big thing that we're working on right now.
So PickFU has like a full support site with like videos and how to do everything. Like, do you guys have?
It will. We're working on that.
That's great. Yeah. Because that's one of the things, for us too. Like, FeedbackWiz has been around since 2017, and just having the actual software is one thing, but then getting the customers to get everything, and just making sure that they understand how to use it, because our tool is a little bit complicated too.
You can do a lot with
you can do a lot of stuff, and sometimes customers don't even know, like, oh, I didn't know I can A/B test my subject lines.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we really worked on was making sure that we could build a lot of videos where people like don't have to contact us, rather than we just send them an email with the links. So,
I'm gonna have to get a lot lot of tips from you after this video.
But that definitely would help. That'd be great. But I think your tool is very easy to use, because I used it like a month ago to A/B test some of our preloaded templates.
Nice.
Just to get some results. Some of the cool things that I was able to test was not just the style, but more like some of those custom buttons that we put in there. I wanted to know like what kind of colors people are more attracted to. I had some animated buttons that were changing colors. They were changing text. It was really cool how I could just create those images and then just upload it to your system. And then I think within 30 minutes, I did get those results. And those results, I think, were very accurate, because they were kind of in line to what I was thinking too. Because I purposely created a few that were kind of weird. And I remember seeing that in my head. I was like, I don't think this will work, and I'm pretty sure people would not like this. But surprisingly too, I did get some comments from some people that thought totally different. And one of the things I created was leave a product review in the text. Normally in the email templates we send out, we have like a leave a product review button.
Okay.
So I made that button where the text is actually scrolling from left to right. So it's actually an animated GIF. And people, I thought that was catchy because when you open an email, you can actually see the text moving, right, rather than just the static image, right? Yeah. But a lot of people gave me the feedback saying, I didn't like it because I thought it was like a kind of spammy and it looked like one of those like fraud emails. Where,
so I remember seeing your poll, and to be honest, I think I kind of felt the same way about that button.
And I was like, after I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that's very true. Like if I sent that out, even though it's catchy, there's some downsides to using something like that. So the results really, gave us some really good feedback. And I was like, yeah, we definitely can't. I didn't even want to offer or show people how to do it because someone might think it's good, but then, the majority of people are, when they send it out, they're not going to respond to it. So
that's been one of the more surprising things, even for me, as I've used PickFU over the years, is I used to think that PickFU was only about getting I used to think that getting feedback was only about the positive things, right? Like, what do you like about this listing and what would you change? But it's almost just as valuable to get the negative connotations from people. Like because oftentimes when you come up with an idea, you're only thinking about, oh, it would be so awesome. There are all these pros about this idea and this design and so on. But at the same time, there could be all these potentially negative connotations based on what you're proposing that you may not be thinking about because you're the one coming up with that idea.
Exactly.
So getting outside feedback is pretty useful for understanding, oh, my potential audience may see things this other way than different from what I saw.
Yeah, and also brings up the case too, like we're both male, right? And your audience can do female too, right?
Oh, totally.
Yeah. And we have like products where they're only female audience, right? Like baby products, like usually it's going to be females buying it, right?
You can target parents too.
Yeah. So if my template is crafted more it's like a manly template, right? It might not get the same response as a more cute template that females might respond to. So it'd be really great that if I could just use your system and say, oh, I didn't want to target females, because I can now fine tune my audience without even wasting, like, I don't need results for men, right? I only want results for women. Or let's say I'm selling like a cane for seniors. I don't need
target the more elderly.
I don't need someone in the 20-year-old range group, right? So so it's really cool. So yeah, that's really great what you guys have built, and really impressed with the functionalities and how fast things come out.
Thanks.
So I think today for the listeners that you can't see, but we're gonna really quickly go through and show you how we can actually run one of these polls. And what I'm gonna do is use FeedbackWiz to actually show you the templates that we've created here, just as a sample, and then how we can test these templates through PickFU, and then show you what kind of results they actually provide. So right now, we're inside the FeedbackWiz template manager, and I've created 3 specific templates just for this audience. And they're basically the same exact templates, but it's like a welcome email. So when, like, for example, when you buy a product on Amazon, you might get an email saying your order has shipped, and it might have a contact us button, tracking link. And in this template here, we have a big logo on top, image to the left, and some wording on the right that basically says your Amazon order has shipped. And it's got 2 buttons that says contact us and track your shipment. And these buttons are custom buttons, and they're orange. So it's like a plain, nice looking template you might get, nice and clean, right? So this is one of the templates. The second template I created here was the same type of template. You got the big logo on top, you got the image on the left, some satisfaction guarantee message on the right, with contact us link. And I changed the color of the links to this one to match more red, which is the same color as my logo. So I wanted to make it a little bit more, eye-catching to match, and centered it a little differently. And then also on this template, I did something a little special here, which FeedbackWiz users can do, is basically embed a video image link. So it's like a demo video. So right now we're basically this picture is a jump rope. So we're selling a jump rope, and it shows you how to set up the jump rope for first time use. And it's got a picture of a guy jumping on it with a play button. So they click on this play button, it'll take them to the Amazon storefront page, and they can actually view the video playing. So I thought it'd be pretty cool to have this inside the email template to send out. And the third template we created here is it's also a order on this way template. It's got the logo on top. The logo is a little smaller. It's got track my package, but the styling here is a little different. It's kind of a vertical kind of template where the picture, the text, it goes picture, text, picture, text. It's got the total price and a simple contact us button on the bottom that lets them know that you can contact us if there's any problems with it. So these three templates are typical templates that FeedbackWiz users might send out. So I thought it'd be really cool if we tested these three templates on your platform. To save time, we've pre-tested it.
That's right.
And then we got results. So I'll let John take over on this one here, since he can better explain exactly what we are looking at here.
Great. Thanks, Henson. So this first template that we're looking at, this is one of the templates that you had with the where you had embedded the video here. So we're looking at one email template. Now, what I did was I created a poll to target 50 respondents who are Amazon Prime members. This poll took about, I think it was about 3 hours, because I ran it late at like 10 p.m. last night or the night before. I asked, so the goal of this poll was to get open-ended feedback on a single template, basically trying to figure out how to improve it. So I put in a question, and my question was, you just purchased a product on Amazon and received this confirmation email. What would you change about this email to make it better? And then for the option, I uploaded an image of the template that you created with a picture of the jump rope, some emojis, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, the red contact us and track my package buttons, and then below that the screen cap image with the press click to play button. So what happens is PickFU sends this poll out to our panel, and it's first come, first serve who are Amazon Prime members to come in and provide feedback and answer the question, what would you change to improve it? Now, since this is a single option poll on PickFU, what I was also able to do was request a rating of this, a 1 to 5 star rating. And so for our 50 Amazon Prime members, the overall rating was 3.7 stars over 50 votes. Now, in addition to that, in addition to a rating from each person, PickFU requires that each responder write and explain either their choice or to answer the question. So now we're looking at 50 different people who've written in explaining how they felt about this email template and what they would change. So I'm just going to pick and choose a handful of them. Let's see. So number 3 said, I would prefer if the email indicated the date I would expect to receive the product. Number 6 says, smaller logo and larger picture of the jump rope. Track my package should be above contact us because it will be used by more people. I would possibly even move the contact us button to the bottom under the video. Number 7, take out the emojis. They're tacky. Number 9, take out, it looks boring. I don't like the emotes. Number 16, I take out the emojis. It comes across as a bit childish.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind here, I literally just whipped up this template in a few minutes, and I just wanted.
Please don't take this personally.
Yeah.
So this is
No,
not.
I really like these comments, especially the negative ones. I think the negative ones are the ones that really can help us too, and especially as an Amazon seller, like exactly what people don't like, right?
Right.
It seems like a lot of people don't like the emojis so much because I think the emoji that we have in here, if you scroll back up, I think is it a guy laughing or happy?
I think there's like a happy,
yeah,
love
with
face.
with the love with the eyeballs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess some people don't like that, so that's a good comment.
So we have 50 of these, and in the interest of time, we're not going to go through and read all of them.
Yeah.
Every time. So what we're looking at on the screen is that every time you hover over one of these responses, you do get a tooltip telling you about that person. So we're showing age range, gender, ethnicity, education, and income. On the bottom of these results, we also have that breakdown of the demographics of the 50 people who've responded to this, seeing how many people fall in what age range, their education level, ethnicity, gender breakdown, income, all of that stuff.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I got a question for you. So let's say I already know like my gender, my age range. Pretty much because I know my product, right? Like
yeah,
some products, you have to have all these different right ranges, but some products have certain specific ranges, right? So I can fine tune this before I even start the poll, right?
Oh, for sure.
I only want male. I only want 30 years old.
Yes. So basically, when I created the poll, I just chose targeting for Amazon Prime members.
So I can do Amazon Prime member plus
female plus has kids plus income plus age range. Wow. So you can combine all of those and really, sharpen your audience targeting. Now, polls like that are going to take a little bit longer because we're only showing it to the smaller slice of that set of people. But
those people have to be ready to respond.
First come, first serve. Right. Exactly. So we let you choose polls anywhere between 50 to 500 people. Generally, my recommendation, if someone's first starting off, is either 50 or 100, depending on how much feedback you want to get and the type of poll you're doing. So if you have a really general audience, then you can get responses in as little as 15 minutes to half an hour. The more targeting you do, the longer it's going to take. And Henson, as you can see here, there's a lot of feedback about, the emojis and so on. Exactly. Sometimes when you are dealing with a lot of responses, it's easier to try to group things. So we do allow this filtering. There's a little search box here.
That's by keyword.
Yeah. So when you click in, we've already text analyzed everything in the responses and grouped all the keywords together. So highly mentioned, email, video, emoji. So let's click on emoji, where there's 11 responses that mentioned it. So now we're just going to filter down to the things that mentioned the emoji.
I really like that feature. Actually, I'm thinking right now, feedback was in our review manager. When the reviews come in, looks like that, right? We have a keyword search, but it's a manual search. But I like how you have it where it's already
pre-processed.
Pre-processed. It already tells you what's the most common keywords. That's really helpful.
So we found that our users, they wanted 200 responses, but then they wouldn't get the full value from reading all 200 responses. Exactly. So we added something like this to kind of bubble up what's important, right? Also, so this is a pretty powerful search on our responses. The other thing we've kind of hidden here, you can filter by male, female, as I only want to see male responses, or I only want to see female responses. I only want to see male responses. This toggles all filters. Or let's say I only want to see people of these 50 people. I want to see only responses who are female, who are white, who earn between 30 and 60K a year. And that'll filter out, it'll show you the ratings, distribution among them, and also only show you the results underneath that fit that category.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really like that. The interface is really clean. It's really good.
And sort of a power feature is that you can actually, let's clear all these filters. Right here. So actually this poll doesn't have it, but in other polls, we actually allow you to do follow-up questions where if you wanted more clarification from what somebody mentioned, then you can go in and actually ask another follow-up question directly to that person. Oh, wow. Like clarify you said the emojis were, childish, tell me more, so on. Anyway, so stepping back, this is all just in one poll asking feedback about a single template. So if you want, we can go on to the other poll that I ran, which is about comparing different templates, which is kind of
let's take a look at that one. I think that's a very powerful one too.
Yeah. So this is just getting, you want to improve something. This could be your Amazon listing. This could be your image. This could be your email template. You put up one thing, you ask for feedback, and that's what you get. What most people know PickFU for is comparisons. So now we're looking at a poll where we're testing all 3 of the email templates that Henson created. So again, this poll that I ran, my question was, you just bought something on Amazon. which thank you email would you prefer to receive and why? So this one, I actually pulled 100 people who are all Amazon Prime members. So that was my targeting. It took about 2 hours for the poll to complete. And we're looking at a poll results page where we've compared all 3 options. You have your option A is the long vertical one where the track my package is in red at the very top. Option B is the one that we were just looking at, which has the video and the emojis. And option C is the more compact one with the image on the left and the text information on the right with the buttons in yellow. And out of 100 respondents, we have the winner as option A out of this group. It's a score of 54. Option C was second with a score of 46, and then option B with the emojis was last. And
so how does that score number work? Like, what does 54 mean? Like, because so each group has 100 votes, and is it like 100 votes total that's distributed within the 3 templates, or is it like, how does that number represent? Like,
so yeah, we're going to nerd out here a little bit because it's a little. So in terms of in the most simple case, when you're comparing 2 things and you have 100 people, then 100 people either choose A or B.
Right.
When we're comparing more than 2 things, there's a couple different ways we let you compare. In this case, we're doing something called a ranked poll. So each person in those 100 people actually ranked all 3 of these choices. I like A and then B and then C, or I like C and then B and then A, and so on. So now we have these data points of first, second, and third place. Okay. The way we choose a winner is by majority. If you don't have a majority, then we actually implement this thing called ranked choice voting, which, you know, we can geek out about elections and so on later. But in any case, we take, if there's no clear majority, then we're going to look at the second place votes and use those to figure out who gets those votes. And effectively what we're doing in that case is, out of this entire set, whether it's 3 things or 8 things or 20 things, this process will help you discover what's the most favorite thing among that group of 100 people. And we even will tell you how the votes are counted for a poll with different rounds of voting and
so
and
there's
eliminating.
actually just tells you exactly how it's ranked.
Oh yeah, exactly how it's ranked.
Okay, that's what I wanted.
Yeah. So you can open up this little dialogue. It'll tell you every single round of counting. You can totally geek out about that. So scrolling down on the responses. Oh, going back to your original question, the score is basically the final tally. Yeah. After all the votes are done, out of 100, you see that the winner is the one that gets above 50, right? Gets the majority. So now scrolling back down into the responses, since we were comparing 3 things, we have 3 columns. Each column represents the responses of people who voted for that option as their number 1 choice. So column A, it's 33 responses because 33 people chose option A, that vertical template, as their favorite one. So just quick, like for example, some of the comments here we show how they ranked it. Rankings, A was first for this respondent number 7. A was first, C was second, B was third, and her response was, the video on B is such a turnoff. At that point of purchase, I don't need that video as I probably already made a good choice. I would also wonder why I'm watching a video and if a click benefits someone, which feels sneaky. I adore solid and basic track my package button.
Yeah, very interesting. And then if you go to the option B with the video, there's a lot of people that say they love the video. So.
Yeah, like for example, here's one, respondent number 16. Option C with the 2 buttons. Actually, no, let's look at a different one. Okay, number 21. The inclusion of an instructional video would help me prepare to use the item functionally. The second image contains a prominently placed contact us button, right? So they're all valid responses about what makes one better versus another.
Yeah. And I mean, everyone's entitled to your opinion, but what I really like is how you have this tooltip hover over where you can see like who that person is based on demographics. So maybe there's some data points where you can look. Maybe there's like the people that don't like it. Maybe they all belong to a certain gender or ethnicity, right? And the people that like it, could be a different group, right? And then if you determine that your product only caters to this group, maybe you should change. Even though like option B is, I think, especially for the ones that are polls where it's like they're very close.
Yeah.
I think that's where you can kind of make a decision, even though one of them wins based on the responses. You can, you know.
Yeah, that's one of the things. That's one of the things we tell customers all the time is a tie is not a tie, right? Like the people will write in and say, "Oh, I had 100 people choose out of 2 things and it came back 50-50, your product is useless." Well, no, you should really read the responses and start diving in. It means you got to look in deeper and start segmenting your different audience and how they responded and so on. Right. So like, for example, the options change when we filter only by males. Maybe it's because they like that the video had a male who was using the jump rope, right? Like that could have affected it too. Yeah. So a lot of things you can do here in terms of diving in and trying to understand and understanding which one to use and also how to improve it.
Cool. Yeah, that's really neat. I really like it. So yeah, I think Amazon sellers out there, especially ones that are just starting off or creating their listing, or even if you've been selling for a long time, there might be things that you're not aware of, and you want to optimize your images or your titles, or even like this email templates we have shown here. I think just the great thing is it's all automated, right? You don't really have to spend too much time. You just send in data and then you get the results really fast. And then you can go in and fix it. So yeah, very, very useful. Cool. I really like it. So yeah, thanks everyone for listening in today. And if you guys are interested in trying PickFU out, John, do you guys have a special promotion? We do. Use?
Yeah, they can go to pickfu.com/feedbackwiz actually, and I believe there's a discount there. I think it's 50% off your first poll. Try it out. And if you have any questions, you can always email me. I'm John at PickFU, so we're always happy to help.
Yeah, thank you so much, John, and it's a pleasure talking today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Henson. Yeah,
and wish you the best.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you, guys.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and for more information, please visit feedbackwiz.com.